Welcome to the Simply Incredible podcast. I am Daryl with a group of merry men. What's up, guys?
Oh, what's up?
Hey, there's Bonafide,
He's back.
Bonafide, Ricky, Billy, and Josh. It's a crazy group of scoundrels.
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 We're scoundrels now.
Scallywags.
Any other time you wouldn't get away with that.
That's it.
I really need to get a phone stand.
Or a phone set down, whichever.
Yeah, your sound is like super muffled right now too. So
Yours is muffled now?
It might be because my phone is sitting on the microphone. So can you hear me all right?
That you still
I can hear you.
forward.
You just sound like you have a cold, Ricky. That's it.
Well, I always sound like I have a cold.
He really does.
Bob.
Well,
So we're here to talk about the legendary Neal Adams. Sadly, just heard he passed away. Some people it's not sad, but for me it's sad. So who wants to do some discussion of Neal Adams?
oh good God, I could definitely do some
Yeah,
discussion, but I could be somewhat long-winded on it. And everybody, I know it started a little bit mirthful, but I'll tell you that yesterday the world definitely lost the one of the real deals in the comic industry.
Definitely one of the remaining legends, I would say.
Absolutely. I've had the absolute pleasure of meeting him twice. And contrary to a lot of the horror stories you hear, both my experiences were fantastic. But I tell you, every time I talk to him about the Spectre. One of the items I'm going to show, probably one of my favorite items that I have from him. He gave me a full rundown of why he did that book. I remember, in 2018, Ricky gave me a copy of Batman, the famous Joker cover. And I took it up to him and I had it kind of rolled up in my hand like this, the careful comic fold where you're not folding it.
So that's what happened to it.
I just tossed it on the table and he looked up at me and had like the biggest grin on his face because there I was just kind of throwing this valuable book at him to sign. And he went on to tell me, a lot about that book and what him and Denny did. Of course, he was a huge self-promoter, but he also understood his worth. I think that's a big deal. And I think, Josh can probably, as a starving artist can show you there. A lot of people don't value artists. They don't value their contributions. They want the sketch and the doodle for free, but it is their time. It is their time. It is their business, their profession, and everything. And they're not these little entertainment monkeys that you can just go up to and get them to dance anytime you want to. At conventions, most of them are working all the time. You see them doing sketches and stuff, and you kind of run up to them and interrupt them, halfway through their work, and then you wonder why they're acting kind of weird towards you. But it really was cool experiences I had meeting him. He was in a really good mood both times, and I guess everybody's due a bad day once in a while.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, a few times I've met him, he always seemed, professional. I mean, it was weird because I remember him a long time ago. Like, I say a long time ago, but like mid 2000s or whatever. And then when I got back into comics, maybe in the late, like the 2011-ish, I remember we went to a show. I think Will was there. And they put Neal on like the outside of like the main area in a hallway. And like no one was around him. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, this dude's a legend. Like, why is he out here? And it was like that time where, like, I guess right before comics got really big, like no one really cared, I guess, about Neal Adams. It was weird. It was very strange.
That was I remember that show. That was actually like 2015 or 2016. It was NC.
Okay, so it wasn't even that long. Okay.
And but yeah, they had him set up like in a hallway. is where they had him. Of course, he had his huge booth there and everything, but it really was strange because it's almost like he was kind of detached from the convention. But
yeah. And I just remember going over to him in that time and like just telling them like I admired, his work in comics over the history. I was probably poor then, so I didn't buy anything. I was just like, I was just telling them like, hey, and, just telling him I appreciated him, and shook his hand and talked to him a little bit. But and then it was this weird turnaround. Like maybe 3 or 4 years later, you just slowly started seeing like people appreciate him more and more and more now. And then 2 shows back, I just couldn't remember, like they had like red carpets and stuff and a huge, it's almost like columns going up to go see Neal Adams, and there were lines and stuff. I was like that, and then I was like, okay, now that's what it should be, So it was good that he, right before his passing, that people were really appreciating him, what he did to the hobby, which is a massive amount. I mean, I can't think of anyone more influential. I mean, Kirby for his, big bombastic, work. I mean, for mostly Kirby's work ethic, I mean, he was crazy. But Neal Adams was probably the most influential to other artists, just for the fact that he was one of the first artists to really not make them all look like massive, muscle-bound dudes. That he was concentrating more on perspective and the anatomy of human, really, and really stretching what the panels can do. And that's what one thing, I don't want to be like a grumpy curmudgeon, but it's like I kept seeing all these like posts about, oh, what a legendary comic cover artist, and like, look at the great covers he did. I'm like, dude, this guy like broke the mold for the inside of the comic, but like all the panels, the layouts he used to do, and like that, I was like, just go look back at this one I was going to show is the Strange Adventure run is like one of my favorites because I'm a huge Deadman, probably because of Neal Adams. But this run, you have to read this run. It is probably one of my favorite runs of a collective comic run. And I have it in this form too.
Nice.
But you can just go back and see what he was doing. Like there's one of my favorite panels. There you go. So he made the panel, and you can see that there is a dead man head hidden with all the panels. You can see that.
Oh yeah.
But each panel is not dead man's head. Like it's just each piece. Because this one's a good explanation. See, there's actually, can you even see him? He's like crawled up in here. But then, if it expands the whole page, you can see it's a hidden dead man's face, which I just thought, it's crazy. The first time I read it.
And the beauty is, if you look at the time that's done, Andy, it's like stuff like that just wasn't done.
No, it wasn't.
We had, there were a lot of great artists back then. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he did a lot of inking of Infantino. But you look at how kind of open Carmen's work was. It kind of had like that kind of balloonish look to it, like Alex Toth, all of those guys, great artists, but they had these, this kind of open look to their artwork. And his work, was really just kind of almost reminiscent back to the old EC artists, just gloriously detailed.
Yeah.
When you get right down to it, like the line work and everything. And, it definitely became, when you look at Barry Windsor Smith, look at his early Conan stuff, he was trying to ape Neal Adams' work. Mm-hmm. And his work didn't evolve until he got further into it,
And that same thing with the one who did Moon Knight, Sienkiewicz. He was basically, like, people would like say he was a Adams clone, but I mean that helped him craft his art. He just, if I draw like Neal a little bit, I could start, and then he slowly started being Bill Sienkiewicz, and then he, now he's a legend too, his own. But that's what I'm saying is Neal Adams is probably just to artists alone, probably one of the most influential artists in the comic, comic medium. And I mean, Neal Adams probably even said he wasn't an artist; he was more of a storyteller, just because of his panel layouts and how he crafted it. I mean, he's awesome.
Nice.
There's my rant. Sorry. Josh, he's more of he's the artist, so like I would like to hear Josh's perspective. He's a guy hated him, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not a Neal Adams fan. Not because I think his artwork sucks. There's no doubt that he was a brilliant artist, and I mean, he does have had a reputation for kind of being a jerk at cons, but again, we all know that those guys are always working those circuits all the time. They're dealing with different people every single day, and so just look at Adam Hughes. Everybody thinks he's a good grumpy guy, but I mean, he's working constantly, so he doesn't. Maybe they really shouldn't do shows sometimes.
Yeah.
The funny thing about that, I don't mean to interrupt you, Josh. The funny thing about that, a lot of, it's all about perspective. I don't know what it is about celebrity or that status that, we feel like we're entitled to just run up to like they owe us something. It's like, what they gave us? They gave us this, this Neal Adams book. They don't owe us anything else. But for some reason, we act like they do.
Yeah. Some of us, not all of us, act that way. Some of us are respectful of them. I guess I kind of approach those guys differently than other people do. But yeah, he was a great artist. There's no doubt about it. I'm trying to think of the stuff I have in my collection that he's done, and the only thing I could think of is Comico's Samurai or whatever it was, like a 4-issue miniseries. I think he just did the covers for that. But I think I saw on Instagram someone basically thanked him, and I guess he did the interiors of those books back in the day. But, I mean, that's all I got really to say about the guy. I mean, he was a brilliant artist. He did push the boundaries of the way comics are made. And without him, you wouldn't have a lot of the artists we have today in the industry doing what they do.
I was thinking about that earlier, how, everyone loves those like realistic covers and, that are now like the thing. I'm like, man, this probably wouldn't even be a thing if it wasn't for Neal, like pushing the boundary then. I mean, eventually would probably come to that, but
yeah. I think also on Instagram, someone shared a panel of his, not a panel, but a whole page. I think it was from the Avengers, and the very top panel, I think it spread across 2 pages, and it was of the Vision and the perspective that it was in. It was like his face was in the foreground, and then it just bled back into the background. You see the Avengers behind him, and you see, I don't know, 3 or 4 characters walking on his lip like they're about to go inside Vision to do. I never read that book, so I don't know what it was about. I mean, yeah, that was just brilliant. It was amazing looking.
That's awesome.
mm-hmm.
Ricky, what you got?
Well, you hear me all right? No, I never met him personally. So the only time I ever got to see him at a con at all was Heroes like 3 years ago. And every time I walked past the booth, it was packed. There was like tons of people there. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll come back later. But, you cannot take away from the fact the man was an amazing artist. I mean, just like you said, one of the biggest legends in the industry. He changed the way people looked at comic books for sure. I'm not a Superman fan by any means, but the stuff I've seen him draw of Superman just blew me away. And I have a couple of those books just because he drew them the way I felt like Superman should look. I never thought Superman should look like a giant muscle man, like a He-Man figure or anything like that. I felt like he should look like, a little bit muscular, more muscular version of a normal person, and he drew him that way, and it was amazing. The breaking of chains color. I have it around here somewhere. I didn't have a chance to pull it. Hey, yeah, that one. But I guess what got me with the reason I decided not to stop and wait in line and try to get some sort of signature or talk to him was just like Billy said, he was a self promoter, and everybody knew that that he really pushed himself, and he had good reason. I get it. I understand it. I see it from his side, but to me, it came off too cocky. Like some of the 8x10 laminated pictures he had all around his booth with sayings like Neal Adams is the best thing since sliced bread, stuff like that. It's quotes from magazines or news articles or whatever that, people have written about him in the years, and he had them put up in his booth and laminated. Like, everybody knows he's a legend. He didn't have to do that.
Hold on. Whoa. I'm going to interrupt you there.
Remember, of course you are, Billy.
Remember sad Denny O'Neil at Big Lick Comic Con?
I was actually going to mention that here in just a minute.
That so irritated me.
So think about this. The only way to keep yourself relevant, who's coming to Dr. Pepper Park? Quiet Riot? Who the hell knows about Quiet Riot? Unless Quiet Riot gets out there and screams about how great Quiet Riot used to be and brings those people in. There's a reason that people say, multi-award winning, platinum selling music artists showing up at Roanoke Civic Center. There's a reason stuff like that happens. The man knew how to promote himself.
He did.
You got to look. I remember some kid coming up to me at a convention. I was selling stuff. He's like, "Do you have any autograph books?" And I pulled down one book. I was like, "Well, this is autographed by Mike Zack." He's like, "Who's he?" So that's what needs with keeping himself relevant in today's age. I think the self-promotion was glorious.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do people? If you forget how important Neal is, of course, he was going to remind you.
Yeah, very much so.
Some people may have been turned off by that, but I see nothing wrong with it.
In my opinion, it turned me off a little bit. And we actually, between me, you, and David and Josh, we joked about it the rest of the weekend. We should get T-shirts made up that say "Don't be a Neal."
Yeah,
did we not? Because it came off rather dickish, if I can say it that way. I mean, that's the only way I can think of it. And like Andy said, he had a reputation of kind of being a bear at cons to a lot of people, to being a jerk, but doesn't take away from the fact that he was an amazing artist, and I'm sure he probably was actually a really amazing man. And I really do now regret not going and talking to him. I am going to say that, I've got a signed book by him, thanks to you, Billy, but I didn't get it signed. I didn't get to talk to him. I didn't get to have that experience. So me and Daryl were talking about it a couple nights ago, and I said, I'm not going to let that kind of stuff or pricing discourage me anymore when I go to cons. If it's somebody I want to meet, doesn't matter how long the line is, doesn't matter what I think of them personally. If I love their work, I need to go at least talk to them, give it a chance, get that signature, get that experience, because they're not going to be around much longer. Everybody is going to go. And I mean, this when people like Neal go, it reminds you of that.
Yep.
But Ricky, I mean, would you consider yourself a Neal Adams fan?
Love his work. I actually do. That's the thing. I mean, I've probably got 60 or 70 books that he's done. And I love every one of them. I love his style. I mean, one of my favorites that I don't have handy right here was his reimagining of the Green Arrow. I was not a Green Arrow fan until that issue.
Until the
Breaking Bolt.
The ghost.
Did he do some interiors in Vampirella?
I believe so.
I think so.
Back in the old Harris days.
Yeah.
That's one of the cool things about him. The funny thing is the stuff that I'm going to show off, it showcases how good he was at the horror stuff.
Oh yeah.
When everybody remembers him for Batman, for what he did with Batman and the Joker and all of that stuff. And that of course got him to the forefront, man. But that very same convention you were talking about, Andy, I got this right here. This is out of this black slipcase here. But this is a book that he did, Neal Adams' Monsters.
Yeah.
This was done like as a universal sequel. And like look at that work. And the cool thing is this was a signed slipcase. So when I picked it up and handed it to him, he pulled it out and he said, "Well, I've already signed it." And he just looked at me and he's like, "Is there anything else you want?" And I said, "You know what? You could just personalize it if you don't mind. Just put my name in there." And he gladly did it. And he didn't charge me anything extra for it. But there it is, to William Neal Adams. And like
That's pretty amazing.
The one case that you're talking about, Neal also when I say he understood his worth, he knew that people were there to make money off of him. And granted, if you're paying $50 for a signature, you're paying $50 for a signature, or 20 or 30. And I read this little story, blurb that Larry Hama wrote of G.I. Joe fame. We all respect the crap out of Larry Hama. And he was like, I was doing these sketches for like $20. And Neal came by and said, "Look, you are undervaluing yourself." There was nobody in front of Larry Hama's booth. And, I'm paraphrasing the story that he wrote, regarding Neal's passing. And he said, "Nobody's at your booth." He got up, went and got some lunch, came back. Neal had changed his sign to say $40, and there was a line. Because with that lower price, just like Andy talks about with comics, a dollar book people think is garbage. You put $3 on it, they think they're getting something. It's like there are these lines. But, before that, Larry had a line, and Larry said, "Neal helped me understand my worth." And he was such an advocate for creators' rights, with Siegel and Schuster and helping get their name, on the Superman stuff. And, creators' rights and retaining ownership of your own artwork instead of it just reverting to
Instead of going to DC to put into a kennel or something.
Yeah. And all of that, and for us to sit back and say, he shouldn't remind us of that. I think everybody should be reminded. It's like, just like the Image guy, how they left and they started, we got Walking Dead and we got, Bone and stuff like that. All these creators, they help move stuff forward. I'm kind of tripping over words right now, but it's a pretty big deal.
Morning. Yeah. So
one of the things that you were just saying about how he helped people kind of promote themselves, it reminded me of a story where he did kind of the opposite with Dark Knight Returns. Frank Miller. Frank apparently went to him before he really put out anything, and trying to get help from Neal. And Neal's he wouldn't even sing. And one day, I think it was his daughter or his wife that was there, and she let him in. And Neal saw his work, and he's like, "You need to find a different job. This is not going to work for you." And there you go. I always thought that was hilarious when I heard that.
That happens to a lot of artists.
Yeah. Not you, Josh.
Oh, Josh has been told to go somewhere plenty of times, I'm sure. We all have.
I don't know what you're talking about, Ricky.
Uh,
Although I haven't really, shown my artwork to, a big time artist that I respect and love and ask for a critique. I did get Nick Pitara to do it, but that was by accident because he actually offered. He said, "Hey, you got some artwork on you. I'll take a look at it." And he looked at it, and he was very generous and kind. And he gave me a good critique and stuff I needed to improve on. But, I'm not – I don't want to say I'm not dumb enough to go do that. I also don't really care what they think. So.
I think your work is amazing.
I do too.
Yeah.
I can't wait for all of Good Grief to come out again. I can't wait.
Don't worry, it'll get behind.
So who's got some books to show? I got a slew.
A slew.
Our favorite Neal books.
A slew, meaning I think I got like 5 here.
Of Neal books, I've got 0.
I've got 2 on me. I just got to go grab them.
I'll tell you what, I've got 2 I can show. Well, 2 things, aside from the Monsters hardcover, which I highly recommend, I've got 2 things I'll show off. The first thing, got back into collection early on, and this is actually a statue that is designed on a Neal Adams design. And it's the Batman black and white, again, the zombie statue that he did.
That's pretty cool.
He is really cool with horror stuff. And of course, the book that I've got, this was probably, I wanted a nice copy of Detective 400, the first appearance of the Bat. Nice. Just because look at how dark and eerie that cover is, with Batman going against the Man-Bat.
That's a pretty nice cover.
That is a really nice cover.
That's a pretty nice cover there, boy. Mm-hmm.
I meant
he was a good cover artist.
I meant nice copy because I gave it to him.
Yeah, well, I sent one off, and Andy had to make something. I don't know. He didn't have to because the other copy was just fine to me.
He done did it.
But those are the 2 books that I had to show, and if we're talking about interiors and stuff, fine. I'll show off one little interior piece here out of this Monsters book. Just how really just cool his work is. Like this right here. If anybody, God knows, open a comic right now and tell me what you see. But this is like brilliant stuff there.
No, I missed it.
Andy got back just in time to not see it.
Yeah.
Well, you small screened me again, so I don't know if I was really showing anything.
There you go.
That was close. There you go. Now you can show it again if you feel so inclined.
Yeah. It's all good.
Look at that smile.
Got the cutest little baby face.
Little.
Man, Josh is quick on those, isn't he?
Yeah.
We have what?
You want me to show you something, or somebody else want to?
5 miles degree of separation right now. So
I only had time to pull a couple books, but they are 3 of my favorite Neal Adams covers for Batman. That's the only thing I could readily get to you right now. But
I'm trying to grab.
All right, you are about there. You are.
Of course, everybody knows this one. Can you see over the glare?
Mm-hmm.
There
Well,
we
it's
go.
the glare on your head that we can't see it for.
I have hair there today. I haven't shaved yet.
Hey, you got to powder your head before you go on the show, man.
Yeah. Whatever.
Get a
haircut,
bag, something.
And then the paper bag, that would help a whole lot. And of course, everybody knows that book. Now, thanks to Billy, I got Neal Adams' signature on it. But the one that really made me happy was Denny O'Neil, meeting him at Big Lick and getting him to sign this and talking to him about this actual story and the shark. And I mean, just the whole conversation was surreal, and it really did, like we were talking about earlier, made me really sad that nobody wanted to go to his booth. I mean, he was a legend in himself. But this is by far my favorite Batman cover. I absolutely love this Ra's al Ghul cover. Ra's is one of my favorite. Ra's is one of my favorite Batman villains. It has been for years. Everybody's all Joker, and I love the Joker, but Ra's al Ghul is amazing.
Go ahead, and who was that mentioned the pants?
Oh, me.
The pants.
Double pants. Got double pants on it.
Yeah, he's got double pants.
Double pants.
Look, because they're holding pants, like his whole outfit's got pants. But if you look at Batman, you can see he's still wearing pants.
No, he's in his underwear. That's his legs. It's just the shadow on his legs. That's his underwear, for real. That's the way I always saw it. It's his bat underwear.
His bunderwear?
His underwear. I never really thought about it that way, but I guess it is like double pants. But I always figured it was the shadow of his legs, and that was just his blue underwear. Because I always expected Batman to wear blue underwear for some reason.
Because his blue underwear is outside of his costume, Ricky.
Well, he has to double underwear just in case his pants get ripped off by a villain. He has to make sure he's got something to cover up his bat nuts.
The bat nuts.
He does not have panty lines, therefore
He's going commando.
he is free bat balling under that.
Free bat ball.
Love it. That's all I pulled. Like I said, I have plenty more in there.
Yeah.
As far as favorite Neal Adams covers, I really do feel like that Ra's al Ghul, and then the Brave and the Bold with the new appearance of the new Green Arrow, the new costume. That's by far one of my favorite covers.
Did you do the detective homage?
No.
I love that one too.
You have that one available readily?
I got it from you. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I wish I hadn't sold it. No, I actually really did want a higher grade copy, and that's why I went ahead and got rid of it.
It was nice enough that I kept it.
That's why
Nice enough that you kept it.
I don't want to sell it, but I sure am glad I got rid of it.
I'd like a higher grade copy, and the high grade collector says, "I'll take that one."
It was higher grade than I thought it was, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah, this is
Nothing
one of
a
my.
little press won't fix.
There's a few. I grabbed a couple of my faves. This is one of my absolute favorites. This is probably one of the first Neal Adams covers I bought
What's up, legend?
when I got back into the hobby.
Is that the one you got for me?
No, yes.
Yes.
The only reason we got Rick on-
This isn't the one that I first bought. I sold that one a long time ago, and I wish I didn't.
Yeah, that's what I guess. Emergency. There's
You
I did happen to find one of those without the signature up top, so I was pretty happy.
Full screen. You want to see it? I'll show you.
Yeah, if you actually want to see something, we're tired of looking at Ricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I'm tired of looking at myself too.
I always loved
I never get tired of looking at Ricky.
where it was like this.
Oh,
it's
thanks,
almost like a
Josh.
gray tune wash, but it's
Exactly.
not. But I just love how sinister.
I always love that cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's on the list that will not be fulfilled for quite some time now.
The
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I like that one.
There's also a really good. I think it's Journey into Mystery or House of. I think it's House of Secrets, where it's kind of the same that he did. You know the one I'm talking about, Will?
He's running to the opposite side.
Yeah.
It's almost like this one, but more as like a close up. I love that one.
Have that one.
I have it. It's just not with me. It's in the other room.
When DC did the homage work for Neal, where he came back and did a bunch of stuff for that 1 month back when the new 52 was out, they had the Neal Adams month. They did a Harley Quinn one of that, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Was this Neal? I always thought this one was awesome.
It looks like Neal.
Like I just love the color, and I always loved like.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Man.
Talia's looking at his cowl in the water.
Is that what she
And
called
here's,
it?
here's probably one of my favorites.
Oh, the Reaper? Yeah,
First Reaper.
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. That looks like a gorgeous copy too.
Yeah, it's an upgrade. I've upgraded it over a couple times. This is the one I currently have. And then probably my best Neal Adams book in my collection is my 9/8.
Yeah.
That's amazing. To get that book in a 9/8 is just insane.
Ow.
And it's one of those ones I even told Will, or it wasn't Will with me. It was
I was with you.
Yeah. And I was just like, the guy had it on his booth, and for the price that it was, I was like, this is way undervalued. And I love, it's one of the most iconic Bronze Age covers.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
I still need that book. I've got the other part to it, but I don't have that one yet.
Well, when Andy upgrades, he'll sell it to you.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's going to upgrade from 9/8.
There's no nines. There's no.
That's a Gwen upgrade. She can do whatever.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I got all that good stuff.
It's all good, man.
It's all
Yep.
good, baby.
That's
Final
nice.
season.
I guess I will throw up a couple of books, I reckon, because I already showed this one for just a second because this is one of those iconic ones of his.
I'm a
Love
duck.
that.
And just again, just he makes him look like this. To me, is really how superheroes should look. They look like, if you saw him in a suit at the Daily Planet, you think, oh, it's just a regular guy in good shape. So yeah.
The only thing that ever bothered me about that cover is the way his leg is stretched out to the right a little too far, just so it has that, I guess, the logo below it. It seems like it's a little too elongated. Huh?
So don't be jealous because he's got better legs than you.
Why am I
You
duck?
got this Joker, which I love.
That one's awesome.
Yeah, that's a
Mine's
great
only
one.
I've tried to find
96.
that book so many times in dollar bins, and I can never find it.
Yeah. Yeah, I got this one from Garby, so it was not a dollar bin.
Yeah, and at the time you were just like, I'm completely overpaying for this book, and it worked out because it's worth way more than what you pay for it.
Yeah. I had to do the legwork of getting it put in a case.
Oh my gosh, you had to put it in an envelope and send it off. Holy cow.
And then this one I got from Tim.
Yeah, that's a great book.
Wow.
This is the one that me and Ricky was looking at, and Ricky was like, darn, I wish I'd seen that first.
Yep, because I definitely would have snatched that out of your hand.
Wrap around.
So that's pretty cool. And then another, because it's epic, we got the Mr. T.
I forgot about that.
I had it sitting down here and I was like, wait a minute, didn't he do that? Yes, he did.
He draws a great Mr. T.
And the last one is always this.
Oh yeah.
This is my baby right here.
That's awesome.
So this is if they graded treasuries, I really do think this would be probably an 8. It's great condition we're looking at 40 plus years old now. So I know because I just turned 50, so I know how old it is. So that's my stuff.
That's your stuff.
That's my stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a duck anymore.
We had a question earlier. Before that, we got anything else about Neal that you guys want to talk about?
He made a great smoothie.
Hey, just rest in peace and thanks for.
He loved donuts.
He's up there with Denny.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He had a great head of hair.
He really did.
Is true.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Look at the size of that man's hands.
They're massive. Yeah.
That dude had some paws on him.
He had those big sausage fingers.
You know what they say?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Man with big hands wear big gloves.
Yep. I shook his hand once too.
Yeah, me too.
And your hand disappeared.
It did.
Enveloped your whole arm.
Killed bosses.
Killed bosses.
like signing, like shaking Shaquille O'Neal's hand.
God.
I don't know. His Batman was kind of falling to the wayside. He saved it.
Yes.
So,
film addiction. The world of comics and books is so huge. Where's a good place to start for a rookie? So far, he's got some Spider-Man and some Deadpool. Any suggestions, gentlemen?
Oh, good guy.
All right.
Go to a comic shop and look on the wall, see what you like.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, buy what you like. Find some trades.
I'll tell you,
like you have no.
I'd say
ask a comic store.
I would go to, honestly, if I'm just starting off collecting right now, I would go to Ollie's. I wish we'd had Ollie's when I first started collecting comics years ago. Because that is the best place to get cheap graphic novels.
Yep.
At a show near you, because I usually sell all my sets, buy one, get one free. And that's why I do them like that. So,
But like you have a collected set, you buy one
Yeah.
get one.
all my sets are always buy one get one free that I put.
Hey Ricky, when you bought that what was that the
Marvel
Marvel
Zombies?
Zombies? Did you get a free set with it?
No, because he gave me such a good deal on it, I couldn't say anything about it. I was gonna be like, "Hey, so you give me a great deal on this? Where's my free set? Dang it!"
Well, if it was on the wall, it's probably not buy one get one free. But
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I got a set of Planetary, and I didn't get a free set anytime.
from me,
Yeah, from you.
Man,
when
You owe him a free set, Andy.
Back in
the
Big
bus
Lake,
is rolling over
couple
Andy
years ago.
right as we speak.
Look, back to his original question.
You probably didn't do that back then, Andy. It's okay.
Yeah, in all
We love
honesty,
you,
in
Andy.
my opinion, it's hard to start new right now because it is overwhelming looking at a wall. You know, going to a new comic shop and everything. Ricky's suggestion of Ollie's is fantastic. Trade paperbacks, pick the characters you like, and I suggest, just buying a random issue here. Everything is designed for like the 4-issue or the 6-issue story arc now, and chances are, unless you start at the beginning of something, you are starting dead in the middle of the story, and you're going to finish that book just as confused as when you started. I think, it must be a really hard time to be new and into comics right now. If you look at a lot of the volume 1 stuff, it may be a little more childish, but I think it's a lot more entertaining. And that's where I would start. And I would find dollar boxes and just anything that looks good, that looks interesting to you. Like, holy cool, this is a guy named the Man Thing. I wonder what he does. Search out stuff that you think you would enjoy, because like Andy has said, if you like it, somebody else might like it too. So just kind of find a character, glom onto it, and just kind of start researching and look at your like Marvel wiki and learn the histories of these guys, and that can kind of point you in the stories you want to read.
Would you guys pick any stories in particular that you think, this is a really good story, you might want to give this a shot? Because right off the bat for me, Batman Hush,
Spider-Man,
Green Lantern, the Emerald Knights run,
the Clone Saga, and Spider-Man. He said,
No,
never.
Ultimate Spider-Man is a great Spider-Man read.
Yeah,
Brian Bendis' Ultimate Spider-Man run. It's a fairly cheap run. You can find a lot in dollar boxes, but that was just a really fun Spider-Man series.
it depends on what you like. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. A lot of times when people, like, if they ask me that at a show, I ask them, well, what do you like to read? And I kind of like give them, I make them give me an avenue so I know where to go. Because just saying, where do I go? Like, well, this is comics. I can be anywhere. There's so many genres, and that's the weird thing. It's like, not only is there genres, there's artists. But people like certain artists, so they follow the artist wherever they go.
Or writers.
Also,
he mentioned he liked Deadpool. Here's a cool book series to look for: Vengeance of the Moon Knight. Right here, it's 2 issues. Hunt it down. All right.
He said there's an Ollie's. Yeah.
There's a Moon Knight versus Deadpool. This is the first part, and here's the second part. I've just given you 2 back issues to look for.
If you like Deadpool, one of my favorite, I was never like a big Deadpool fan because he kind of got annoying to me. But then I read, is it Matt Fraction? No. Who was, my brain. Who was the one who did the X-Force, Uncanny X-Force, where it was like Wolverine, Deadpool, Archangel, Psylocke. It was Remender. Read the Remender run of Uncanny X-Force, because that is one of the best. I think it was like Deadpool's. I actually started liking Deadpool a lot. I was like, oh, this Deadpool's pretty awesome, actually.
Speaking of Remender,
there's there's a there's a scene to keep Archangel alive. Deadpool's cutting pieces of his arm off and like feeding it to him.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like I was just like, this is insane, but it was so good because he's like dying in the desert and Deadpool's just keeping him alive. He's like, here, baby, like feed him like a baby bird. I mean, it was like, okay, I like Deadpool. I mean,
All right. Well,
yeah, that was a good Deadpool run, I thought.
Film addiction. I hope that helped a little because it was a little muddled in there, but I hope that helps some.
Man, it's hard, man. I don't envy you and trying to get into it.
Well, one thing I was thinking,
Also with Deadpool,
when you were talking about there's so many like Marvel, there's so many things like, well, every 6 months they start with a new #1, so you can just start there.
Very true.
It's just tough, man.
Yeah,
it is
like he said, but I do agree. Ollie's, and then like if you go to Books A Million, sometimes they'll have some graphic novels, and like other bookstores, they might have some graphic novels. Used bookstores, there's some places they might have some as well.
And you can follow us on Instagram and stuff. I haven't been good with it lately, but I try to post some cool like books and sometimes histories about them.
We call that in the business a segue. Andy, 2022. Tell me about it.
So I was hoping I got there because it was going to be sad if I didn't. But when I reached 2022 followers on Instagram in the year 2022, I was going to do a giveaway. So I'm going to do this giveaway this probably in the next week or so, and I'll put it all on Instagram. What you'll have to do, and probably just all you have to do is probably just follow me, like the post, and then comment down below with maybe somebody that might want to follow me or whatever. But I'm going to do a giveaway, and what I'm giving away is the old 9.8 first Jane Foster as Thor, and this is an amazing run. But here's a nice little 9.8 slab that I'll be giving away to somebody randomly.
So what you're saying is I should just make a bunch of fake accounts so I can get your numbers up for you.
Give me up to 3,000.
It took you like 5 years to make a account.
To me?
Yeah.
I've had one for a while. I just don't do anything with it.
So, Film, if you're on Instagram, you have a chance at winning the awesome book. This is a great Jason Aaron story.
So if you're not following Bona Fide Comics over on Instagram, now's your chance. Go, go, go.
Now William's a duck. Oh, okay.
I know.
When do I get to be the duck?
Put him up there.
Let's see.
Oh, Mr. Greg.
Right there, and then we'll do this.
Move your head. There you go.
There you go.
Nice.
Despondent duck, guys. Despondent duck.
It's a great look, man. Great look.
Quack, quack, waddle, waddle, quack, quack. All right, who do you guys look at as like the current living legends of comics? Because the first thing I thought of was Steranko.
He's still going.
But after that, I'm kind of like, I don't know.
I don't.
How about the Todd father?
Yep.
Nope.
Todd.
Nope.
Josh.
Come on.
Daryl hates.
Nope.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Nope.
What he's done to the industry, dude. You can't.
The hatred is real.
Hey, look at that. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You get.
No, he hasn't reached legend status yet by most people's definition, but for me, he's huge, and I absolutely love his work, and I'm really hoping he's going to be at Heroes. I need to look up the guest list. But Dave Dorman, the man,
I love the Spawn movie, by the way,
is a master. He's so good.
Dorman, yes.
And he's getting on up there in years, so it's if you haven't had a chance to meet him yet, you should. I met him the last Heroes we went to, and he did a 4x4 sketch card for me. Boba Fett is like one of my most prized pieces. He's so good.
Jim Lee. I'm trying.
Jim Lee.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
trying
Jim
to
Lee,
think
yeah.
of people that are
Yeah,
just
most definitely Jim Lee.
icons. I mean, I'm thinking like icon status in the comics.
Yeah, like from that era, like where I wouldn't even put Todd or Lee in that category. When you look at people, you got to remember, like when you picked up a price guide in 1986, like I was just thinking about this yesterday. That I would see like issue 215, first appearance of so and so, and but when it got to Neal Adams, it would be like issue 216, Adams art, and that's the first.
Yeah.
He got his own freaking classification. You would see Toth once in a while. You would see stuff like that. So if we think of artists like that, like Bernie Wrightson, who's gone.
I mean, I was gonna say George, but I mean Perez is like dying. I mean, he's come out and said so. Like I hate to say Perez because it's. I mean, he said he's only got a few months to live, so that's what I mean. Perez is still alive, so
I would certainly put
he's
Perez.
a legend. Maybe him. I mean, Perez and Wolfman. I mean, they've created
Wolfman
a number of characters, and
what about Chris Claremont?
Yeah, Claremont's still around.
Mm-hmm. And he will talk to apparently everyone in line for 20 minutes except me. There you go.
He didn't like the looks he used. He was like, "Here's your books."
He was like, "Look at you. We were talking about
John Byrne.
Yeah, here's your book. Get the hell out of line."
Yeah, Byrne's still around.
Yeah.
God, listen to us. This is almost morbid.
I know. That's what it's kind of. I'm sad about.
I
it.
am not saying.
No.
Man.
Now that I think about it, it's pretty rough.
We have to appreciate
artists. I mean, like somebody I love is Daryl Banks. I love his Green Lantern stuff. I mean, I'm not putting him up there, but I'm saying he's awesome.
I feel like we're creating a Death Note right now. That like there's an artist here.
Who's going to be next?
Ricky Perry.
Oh, thanks. So, are you saying we should put up a wheel, Billy, and write their names on it and spin it? See which one it lands on?
What about the
we have the Deadpool.
Like, would you put? No, I wouldn't put J.R. Jr.
Oh yeah,
John Romita.
Oh, there you go.
J.R. Jr. He's been in.
John Byrne. Yeah, that's a good one.
Byrne.
Definitely
and
John
also
Byrne.
Simonson.
Walt Simonson is a great one.
Simonson, yes. John Byrne's definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like legend.
Oh, by the way, Neal Adams also did some Matchbox comic books. I didn't know that until today.
You mean Hot Wheels?
Hot Wheels. Same thing, totally different.
Same thing.
They're both die-cast little cars. Okay.
Yes. Drive fast, turn left.
Whose kid is that?
Well, that means Andy got up and went away.
Yeah. He heard a child.
I thought it was Ricky's because Ricky said his was coming over.
Yeah, they're actually downstairs now. I hear them. So I'm probably going to get off of here. But have fun talking to you guys again. We'll have to do it again soon.
Most definitely.
Well, here's the silver age of comic book art. I'll go through the list. Who's still alive?
Okay.
Y'all have a good night.
Jesus.
Take care, Ricky. Thanks for hanging out with us, man.
All right, man.
Hi, Ricky.
We're taking a morbid turn.
Well, I'm just saying. Infantino. Nope.
Oh, God. Listen to
Ditko. No. Kirby. Gil
No.
Kane. Joe Kubert.
Nope.
Gene Colan.
No.
Steranko.
Yes.
Yes. Neal Adams. No.
No.
There you go. And then I think they have some extras in the back, and I think most of those have passed.
Wow.
I know. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yep. Bishima.
I think Sal is still around, isn't he?
But not John Bishima. I think he's passed. Wally Wood, yes, definitely gone. I mean, geez, like Kurt Swan.
You're depressing me reading that stuff.
Well, I mean, that's the Silver Age. I'm just saying, all our Silver Age creators and more.
Yeah. And that's what makes me just think so much. Is like next time I go to a con, I just got like, you know what? Go meet these people, meet them. They if they meant a lot to you just from the stuff that you picked up, you know, take a couple minutes to say, hey, and I appreciate it, and support them some way if you can. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start treating waiters and stuff just like I'm going to be, go up and be like, man, the way you carried that plate was awesome. And then I'm going to call them an asshole if they tell me to get away from them.
Like the way you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's essentially the argument that people make when they walk after a bad experience.
I mean, we're losing Lon's age, and like
Matt Groening, he's still alive. Go Simpsons!
You know what? If anybody has a chance to meet Sergio or Aragon,
I was gonna say Sergio earlier because I was like, man, he's still going,
and he was awesome to meet. That's probably the one guy that I'm happiest that I've had a chance to meet.
Laird and the Turtles creators.
Eastman,
sorry. Yeah, Eastman and Laird are still alive.
Yeah.
And they go to a lot of
never
shows.
had anything. I met Eastman, but I've never seen Laird anywhere.
Laird hardly came out, I think, recently. I think he started doing shows, I think.
Oh, is he? That's cool. I like to meet him.
Copper Age guys that are routinely making shows, guys. Mike Zett, Michael Golden.
Yeah.
You'll catch Steve Epting at shows. Tom Palmer does the shows. Mark Teixeira does the shows.
Beatty, he's always around too.
Beatty is almost always going to be with Mike Zett.
With Zach, yep, they're always right side by side.
Those cats together. I'm trying to think of anybody from the Copper Age. Like if you're gonna meet them, take the chance and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, your Image guys, it's going to be hard to catch Todd or Jim Lee. Silvestri, once in a while, he'll pop up at a show.
Valentino, I don't think I've seen him anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Valentino's name on a list anywhere. JR Jr. does shows. In fact, I believe he's going to be at Heroes this year.
Yeah, Junior.
What about Larson?
Eric Larson still does shows.
That's one I do want to meet because I love his Spider-Man stuff.
Ron Mars. That's
Jose Garcia Lopez is still alive.
Garcia Lopez is freaking amazing because he did like all the style sheets for the DC.
Oh, yeah, I know. They worked him like a dog back then, but I mean, he's
Mark Teixeira is another.
Basically, every piece of like a memorabilia that you buy, like a shirt or something, is probably Garcia Lopez's art.
And anybody that loved the Wizard books, Bart Sears is actually doing. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Big Lit Comic Con's Nova has Bart Sears coming there. So anybody in the North, check that out. I believe that's next week. But Bart Sears, he did Eclipso and Justice League Europe and, all of those Wizard covers and stuff that he did.
Jerry Conway's still alive.
There's a legend.
Yep.
See, Daryl Banks. I want to meet Banks because I was talking to Ricky about this, and I was like, shocking story, I'm a Harley Quinn fan. I know you guys don't know that. But I would love to get him to do a blank cover of Harley Quinn as a Green Lantern with the ring and everything. I thought that would just be kind of a fun thing to do.
Daryl Banks is really good. Larry Stroman, I've seen him around from time to time.
Yeah. Jim Starlin, he's still around?
Mm-hmm.
Josh Ginter, I'm not sure if he's around or not.
All right, guys, I gotta get off.
I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down on that.
Put my daughter to bed.
Have fun gassing her.
All right. Night. Roy Thomas.
Remember, everyone.
Night, guys.
All right.
Take care, Andy. Everybody, go over to Bona Fide Comics on Instagram. Sub him up and
Say hey and good night. All right, come
get
down.
in that.
He wants to say
that
hey.
giveaway. Somebody would say hello.
Hold on, we're gonna see the Gwen now.
Gwenpool.
The Spider Gwen.
Show him your comic books. Your books are already done here.
This is awesome. Hey, we have a guest.
Now watch her clam up. Hi, Gwen.
What you putting up? Hi.
Hello. I know he's got it on mute, so we can't hear you.
Bunch of creepy old guys on your screen, Dad.
Sonic.
Oh, you got
Ah.
some comic.
Sonic.
Heck
Where'd you
yeah.
get that one?
It's from the Sonic number 2.
No.
See this 2 on there?
Show the camera. Don't
Yeah, show us.
Heck yeah, Gwen. That's awesome.
All right, this is the last
That's
one we
great.
got. Show him that one. That one's cool. Flip it up. No, it's upside.
It's
No, that's the
upside
right
down,
way.
but we always think it's right side up.
You like that one, don't you? She wanted that one for a while.
Good.
I'm gonna put it here.
Oh, okay. You put it on your stack.
Yeah, I really like Sega.
Gwen, you know what happens if you mix up your comics in his pile? He sells them.
Yes, that's true.
That's right.
That's true.
You have this one in your room.
Yeah.
That just means he's got to buy them again for it.
That's right.
Hey, you know who did the artwork in your room? That's Josh right there.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
like,
Whatever.
It's a lot less impressive now.
There's
Yeah.
2 Joshes.
Never meet your idols, Gwen. Never.
No.
who is this?
Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, that's fine.
Spider-Man.
What else does she go by?
Gwen.
Well, yes.
Ghost Spider.
There you go.
Go Spider.
What about Gwenpool?
Oh, yeah,
Nope.
People. Oh, where are Gwen?
Gwenpool.
I like Gwenpool.
I have lots of comic
There's
books.
your Gwen pool.
Oh, look at that.
Here's
will-
my Gwenpool.
I think you have more comic books than I have.
I will say that North Carolina accent is starting to come out.
She hangs out with her Nani.
I just want to keep it here.
Okay, you can do that.
So who are you? So
Any other ones you want to show?
I've got my jammies on right now.
You need to get that.
It's somebody's bedtime.
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah, it's Daryl. It's time
At
for
my age, it's time for bed.
Josh would
I've,
like that. Josh would like that one.
He's got to get his. What's that one?
Number 0. It's got Howard on it.
Oh,
yeah.
Hold on. There you are.
Oh yeah.
Howard.
Always like Howard the Duck.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes Howard the Duck.
This one's cool.
I got my duck right here.
Mine.
Yeah, that was a cool one too, isn't it?
This is mine now. So
Oh,
That's cool.
I have a lot, especially.
Yeah.
I've got.
Thousands.
No. She just has one little box of spider.
millions.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's a lot of start.
You like that one?
Yeah, here's a head one.
nice.
Oh, I like that one.
What?
Super close up.
Daryl, I think your show has just gotten hijacked.
And let me just say this. It's no longer on a down note. We're projecting upwards again.
Here you go.
That one's cool.
Here's mine.
We talk about old people that maybe
Look
passed
at
away.
mine
They want to bring
too.
children on.
Look at mine.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Daryl, shut up and let her show her comics.
That's rude, sir, with your duck face up there.
I was like this one. I was like
Yeah.
this. Probably got this covered.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite one too.
Hey,
That's your favorite one.
don't worry, Gwen. There's only like 1 or 2 people watching right now. We're doing
Yes.
okay.
Yes. And if you're watching, these are some good books to get because Spider-Gwen is really good.
Follow Bowling Comics.
Hey, who's your mom's favorite character?
Spider-Gwen.
That's your
It's
favorite
yours.
character. Who's your mom's favorite character?
Who's your mom's favorite character?
Yoshi.
Yeah.
Who's that big dude?
Maybe when y'all are playing Mario.
Mario.
You know who your mom likes.
What is your mom like? Who's your mom's favorite superhero?
I don't remember.
She's old.
Didn't you just get a stuffed animal made of one? What was that stuffed animal your mom got?
Who was it? Moon Knight.
Moon
He's
Knight.
not even.
Yeah, Moon Knight.
Good
There
night.
you go.
All right, tell him good night.
Oh, is that all of them?
No, but you're not.
Look,
going
you're not getting any more pieces to stay awake.
I want to go.
All right, tell him good night.
Good night.
Good night, Gwen.
Good night.
Yeah.
And on that note, you guys got anything else to discuss tonight?
All good, man. All good.
Josh, anything?
No.
And that's why we love you.
Short and sweet.
I mean tolerate. You guys have an incredible day.